Why is everyone so enthusiastic about K-pop Demon Hunters?
Movies and content always start from planning reflecting emotions and trends of times. K-pop Demon Hunters is no different. This work is intricately packed with elements people find exciting. What's important isn't just Sony made it, but how carefully they've woven in today's trends. Sony really did a great job with this one. They really captured the trends well. And they did an amazing job incorporating K-pop elements. It feels like they carefully infused it with our uniquely Korean sensibilities. That's because Korean directors, actors, singers, and art directors, as well as experts from various fields, all took part in the project. It's not something that was just thrown together to follow a trend. It's not something that was just made in a hurry. You can tell they were intentional about making this. It wasn't a lucky accident. They spent 4 years preparing for this. People say when Sony was making K-pop Demon Hunters, they didn't expect it to become this popular, but once it started gaining popularity, some say that Sony suddenly ramped up their promotions. You're telling me they made something like this and didn't expect it to be popular? I don't think that's the case at all. I'm pretty sure they made it expecting it to be a hit. They created it with high expectations, and it was strategically planned and designed, which is probably why the work turned out to be so detailed. That's what I think. Are you talking about how they used certain words exactly as they are? I can really hear the word ramen clearly.
You have to be a hybrid type.
We're living in an era where you can't help but be a hybrid. You can't just do one thing anymore. You have to broaden your perspective and read the trends. That's how you gain a competitive edge. It's not that people are obsessed with things that are purely Korean, but rather, it's about being able to look deeper into your own emotions in a Korean way. People are passionate about that kind of sensibility. Why did K-pop Demon Hunters choose Korea as its setting? Why did they make Korea the core of their universe? Animation needs to have its own universe, right? But Sony made our K-pop, Korean background, and identity into the universe. This fits the current trend and this era. They probably made it expecting that people would go wild for it. People are especially drawn to stories where a flawed protagonist overcomes their shortcomings and grows. The main character in K-pop Demon Hunters is the same way. Born with a secret and growing up hiding it. Instead of hiding it, she reveals it. That flaw becomes key to overcoming everything. Later, instead of hiding it, she overcomes problems by revealing it, and issues disappear. Wow, they crafted storyline well. By revealing the problem at the end, she overcomes it and everything gets resolved. And it leads to an even happier ending, right? There's a message that you have to make it your own, not someone else's. I think that's really great. I feel like that's how things are these days. These days, there's just too much copy and paste. There's an overflow of duplication. Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses, right? All of those strengths and weaknesses are you. They're who you are. The effort to overcome your problems is what creates your own charm. I think that having some flaws or defects actually helps you develop even greater appeal. That appeal becomes who you are. It's about accepting those flaws and imperfections, and starting by embracing your own shortcomings. If you start hiding your weaknesses, your true self won't show. People try too hard to polish themselves, you know? Everyone crops things out. Even I do that myself. I don't want to show my bad sides. I don't want to show my mistakes either. But these days, people get more excited about mistakes. They feel a sense of humanity in those mistakes. If you're perfect, people don't get excited. These days, if you're too perfect, people say you seem like an AI with no humanity. There's no charm in that. So that kind of naturalness, and those natural mistakes, just showing your true self, isn't that more attractive? Don't people get more excited about those sides? That's why, even in K-pop Demon Hunters, The main character's story is about revealing her own secrets and overcoming them. Every storyline flows like that. First, a problem is created. It's the same here. The demons are running wild, right? A problem is created, and then rapport is built. The main character wasn't just born as a hunter, right? Her body is a complex mix of demon and hunter. Her mom is a hunter and her dad is a demon. That kind of background is great for building rapport. And the character Jinwoo as well. He's a demon, but he also has a past. He has his own backstory. That backstory creates a sense of empathy with Lumi, right? That's how rapport is built. Then, the two of them start discussing possible solutions together. They say things like, let's do it this way, or let's try that, coming up with different options, and they have solutions to solve the problem. Jinwoo suggests a solution, but later on, Lumi reveals her own flaws and shortcomings, and by overcoming them, the problem gets resolved. The storyline of all content is pretty similar. A problem arises, an incident happens, and then empathy and rapport are built. Then, after proposing a solution and resolving it, the story ends. People like that kind of story. It's really similar to the old Disney storylines, right? People love happy endings. There was a time when, instead of happy endings, there was an era when people preferred sad endings. But these days, people need hope. Because things are so tough, we need to give people hope and courage.